Hey folks, I know I'm just an old guy talking about some mysteries, but please leave a like and subscribe before we start. Let's enjoy today's video. Today, we're diving into one of the most enduring maritime mysteries of all time, the story of the Mary Celeste. This tale has fascinated historians, sailors, and mystery enthusiasts for over a century. What happened to the crew of this infamous ship? Why was it found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean, completely intact but utterly abandoned? Let's unravel the mystery together. The Mary Celeste was a brigantine, a two-masted sailing ship built in 1861 in Nova Scotia, Canada. Originally named the Amazon, the ship had a somewhat troubled history even before its infamous voyage. It changed hands several times and was involved in a few accidents, but nothing could have prepared it for the fate that awaited it in 1872. Our story begins on November 7, 1872, when the Mary Celeste set sail from New York Harbor. On board was Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 experienced sailors. The ship was carrying a cargo of 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, destined for Genoa, Italy. The voyage was expected to be routine, but as we know, it turned out to be anything but. Fast forward to December 4, 1872. The British brigantine Dei Grazia, commanded by Captain David Morehouse, was sailing through the Atlantic Ocean about 400 miles east of the Azores. The crew spotted a ship drifting erratically. As they approached, they identified it as the Mary Celeste. Something was clearly wrong. The ship was under partial sail, but there was no sign of anyone on board. Captain Morehouse and his crew decided to investigate. They boarded the Mary Celeste and found it in a strange state. The ship was seaworthy, with its cargo largely intact. The personal belongings of the crew and the Briggs family were still in their cabins. There was plenty of food and water on board, but the lifeboat was missing, and the crew and passengers were nowhere to be found. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. The last entry in the ship's log was dated November 25, 1872. It placed the Mary Celeste about 400 miles from where it was found. There was no sign of a struggle, no evidence of piracy, and no indication of what might have caused the crew to abandon ship. The mystery only deepened when the ship's navigational instruments were found to be missing, along with the ship's papers. The Dei Grazia crew sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, where an official inquiry was held. The court was baffled. There was no clear explanation for the disappearance of the crew. Theories began to emerge, ranging from the plausible to the downright bizarre. One of the first theories was that the crew had mutinied. Perhaps they had killed Captain Briggs and his family, then fled in the lifeboat. But there was no evidence of violence on board, and the crew had no apparent motive. Captain Briggs was known to be a fair and competent leader, and the crew had no history of trouble. Another theory suggested that the ship had been attacked by pirates. But again, there was no sign of a struggle, and the cargo of industrial alcohol was largely untouched. Pirates would have likely taken the valuable cargo, or at least caused some damage during a raid. Some speculated that the crew had abandoned ship due to a malfunction or a leak. But the Mary Celeste was found to be in good condition, with no significant damage. The cargo of alcohol was also intact, ruling out the possibility of an explosion or fire caused by the volatile substance. Then there were the more outlandish theories. Some suggested that the crew had been abducted by aliens or swallowed by a giant sea monster. While these ideas make for great storytelling, there's no evidence to support them. One of the most plausible theories involves the cargo of industrial alcohol. The barrels were made of red oak and white oak, which are porous woods. It's possible that alcohol vapors leaked from the barrels, creating a buildup of fumes in the hold. If the crew smelled the fumes and feared an explosion, they might have abandoned ship in a panic. But why wouldn't they have returned once the danger passed? And why was the lifeboat missing? Another theory points to a waterspout, a tornado-like phenomenon that occurs over water. A waterspout could have struck the Mary Celeste, causing the crew to abandon ship in fear. But there's no evidence of such an event in the ship's log or in weather records from the time. The inquiry in Gibraltar ultimately concluded that the Mary Celeste had been abandoned for reasons unknown. The court praised the crew of the Dei Grazia for their efforts in salvaging the ship, but the mystery remained unsolved. Over the years, The story of the Mary Celeste has captured the imagination of countless people. It has inspired books, movies, and even songs. But despite all the speculation, the truth remains elusive. What really happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste? We may never know. But let's take a closer look at some of the key details that make this mystery so intriguing. First, there's the condition of the ship. When the De Grazia crew found it, the Mary Celeste was in good shape. The sails were set, the cargo was intact, and there was no sign of a struggle. This suggests that the crew left in a hurry, but not in a state of panic. Then there's the missing lifeboat. If the crew abandoned ship, why did they take the lifeboat? And why didn't they try to return to the ship once the danger had passed? Some have suggested that the lifeboat may have been tied to the ship and broke loose during a storm, but this is just speculation. The missing navigational instruments and ship's papers are another puzzling detail. Why would the crew take these items with them? Were they trying to navigate to safety, or was there another reason? And what about the personal belongings left behind? If the crew had planned to abandon ship, why wouldn't they have taken their possessions with them? This suggests that their departure was sudden and unplanned. Theories about the Mary Celeste continue to evolve as new information comes to light. In 2006, a team of researchers conducted a study of the ship's cargo hold. They found evidence of a possible explosion, but it was inconclusive. The mystery remains as baffling as ever. So, what can we conclude from all of this? The truth is, we may never know what happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste. But that's part of what makes this story so fascinating. It's a reminder that, even in our modern world, there are still mysteries that defy explanation. The Mary Celeste has become a symbol of the unknown, a testament to the enduring power of mystery. It's a story that continues to captivate us, more than a century after the ship was found adrift in the Atlantic. And with that, we've reached the end of today's exploration into the mystery of the Mary Celeste. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most enduring enigmas. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another mystery. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and come back for another Mystery of Humanity.